Los Angeles, California has been plagued with gang violence for decades. It's even been called the gang capital of America. But the gangs are not just on the streets. Through lawsuits and reports, we're learning that there are gangs of officers within the LA Sheriff's Department, one of the largest law enforcement agencies in the U.S.
Alleged gang of sheriff's deputies within the LA County Sheriff's Department.
We're talking about homegrown groups with internal deputies. They pick a tattoo that they like, they all get tattooed. It's exclusive, it's also secret. And as a result, they form sort of a shadow government sometimes.
A deputy gang is really just what society associates with a street gang. The only real difference is that deputy gangs, they have a badge and they are protected by law.
Who do they answer to?
They only answer to each other. Everything they do is for the betterment of the gang.
On August 12, 2018, a woman called 911 to say that her boyfriend's watch had been stolen at gunpoint. After Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies arrived, they eventually came across 21-year-old Anthony Vargas. When he saw the sheriff's car, Anthony ran, but he tripped and fell. The deputies chased him down, and they say a fight ensued. They claimed Anthony had a gun and shot him 13 times. 10 times in the back, once in the arm, and twice in the head. Jonathan Rojas and Nicholas Perez used excessive deadly force. They filed a lawsuit after his death, alleging the deputies were members or prospects of the Banditos.
Who are the Banditos?
It's a gang within the East LA Sheriff's Department. These are people that are working as detectives, as deputies in our communities.
The Vargas lawsuit claims the Banditos promoted a culture of fear, intimidation, and violence inside the sheriff's department. And they say this was a major factor in Anthony's shooting. These claims are not new. These groups have existed in the sheriff's department for at least 50 years. The department calls them cliques or subgroups and argues that they're social in nature, like a fraternity, but they're widely known as deputy gangs.
A deputy gang is a group of law enforcement officers who band together like a traditional street gang under a common symbol, a gang tattoo, often very menacing, very violent.
The Jump Out Boys, for example, that's a tattoo of a skull holding a revolver. And for each kill, a bullet and smoke is added to the chamber of the revolver.
And what are the kinds of things that you have to do to become a member?
You have to break the rules, really.
Which often means racially profiling people, having unconstitutional arrests, valorizing excessive use of force, shooting people, but it's done in the name of law enforcement, where the group members think they are the best, most hardworking, effective law enforcement officers in the county. I believe that 85% of the department is not affiliated with the deputy gangs, but they're incredibly influential.
Since the 1970s, at least 18 deputy gangs have existed in the sheriff's department, some of which are still active.
Probably the most reported on is the Banditos, or the Executioners, but there are new ones that are created probably every year, I would say.
They seem to cluster around areas of Los Angeles where there are lots of people of color, usually low income. There are no deputy gangs in Malibu, you know.
One deputy said in a deposition, a group called the Executioners would celebrate at bars after a deputy shot someone.
Anthony Vargas' shooting is not the only case alleging the involvement of LA deputy gangs.
How about this latest shooting of Andres Guardado?
Others have also gotten coverage.
Was that done by an inked member or a prospect of the Executioners?
Prospects.
In lawsuits, deputies have alleged that those who want to join a gang often engage in aggressive policing.
There's been a history of violent gangs in the sheriff's office.
According to a report by Loyola Law School, sheriff stations with active gangs have the highest rates of deputy-involved shootings, and more than 80% of those shot were Black or Latino. East Los Angeles, where Anthony was killed, has had the highest number of deputy-involved shootings in the county since 2016, according to Loyola. In court testimony, deputies have said that the Banditos controlled the station around the time of his fatal shooting. In September 2018, the East LA station hosted a party here for new deputies. By the end of the night, young officers who'd angered alleged Banditos during their training were beaten up in this parking lot. At least 2 of them were taken to the hospital. After the assault, 8 deputies filed a lawsuit against the county, saying the Banditos are an illegal, racist, and sexist criminal organization that engages in intimidation, harassment, and bullying, and that they even encourage planting guns on victims. They say after they complained to the county, they were retaliated against, and that the Banditos withheld backup on dangerous calls, stole the bulletproof vest of a deputy, and left dead rats outside their homes.
If you are named as a rat, you are no longer provided backup, you're assaulted.
This LA Sheriff's deputy told us they worked closely with members of the Banditos. They decided to come forward for their first on-camera interview, but asked us to hide their identity for fear of retaliation, which they say is rampant in the department.
Even off duty, they remove the lug nuts from the wheels of deputies' personal vehicles so that the wheels can fall off and they can lose control. These people are thugs. They are not who citizens of Los Angeles County are counting to protect them.
When deputies try to join the gang, it's called chasing ink, referring to the tattoo.
What does chasing ink have anything to do with being involved in shootings?
If you get involved in shootings and situations where your life is at stake, well, they respect that. And if you are chasing ink, well, you're going to look for trouble.
And doing that, looking for trouble, getting involved in shootings, will help you get into a deputy gang?
That and doing what you're told.
Why did you feel like it was important to speak out and to share this information with us?
Because of how boldly Sheriff Villanueva defends these guys. He's responsible for the power that they hold right now.
Even the Inspector General of Los Angeles, whose job it is to provide oversight of the Sheriff's Department, says he's been left in the dark.
About them. Our ability to investigate, which is granted by state law and local law, has been completely shut down by the current Sheriff's administration.
How?
By refusing to respond to subpoenas, by refusing to provide documents, by instructing people to refuse.
So he's saying that you need all the facts, but he's blocking you from getting all the facts.
That's correct. Review Banditos investigation. So this is the report. As you can see,
in his report, he says an internal investigation by the Sheriff's Department almost completely ignored evidence of the Banditos' role in the Kennedy Hall attack.
Deputies refused to speak. That's an example of a code of silence that is enforced from above.
He says that Sheriff Villanueva has promoted a culture of intimidation that extends to oversight officials like him.
See that? That sweeps for bugs, because I get informants telling me that he's bugging my emails. He has a team, a politically charged investigation team, and the way they work is the sheriff announces the target, he tells the public the person's a criminal, and then that team goes and tries to make it stick in court. I wrote a report about him rehiring a deputy gang member, a guy who had previously been fired, and he put me under criminal investigation when actually I was just doing my job.
Why do you think that he did that? What was the message he was trying to send you?
Gang busting is not appreciated. Oversight is not appreciated. He did not want us to be able to collect information. He wants to be the only source of information for the Sheriff's Department.
Everything he's legally entitled to, he has.
He says that you blocked him in information. Is that
Absolute
true or not
hogwash things. It's a joke.
Sheriff Villanueva's office did not respond to the claim that he bugged the Inspector General's emails. Instead, they said that he's repeatedly demonstrated his commitment to transparency and accountability.